James Franklin is hitting the ground running at Virginia Tech. So, Steve, what's been the recruit reaction you've heard to this hiring?
Well, a lot of prospects are fired up about Coach Franklin being in Blacksburg. He was one of the head coaches that built authentic, meaningful relationships with his players and top recruits year in and recruiting cycle out. So no surprise that James Franklin, with these real bonds that he has with some of the best players in the 2026 class, are quickly surfacing with him at Virginia Tech. And this is one coaching decision where the Hokies let go of their head coach during the season and are now able to get started on roster management for next year because they have their head coach in place in James Franklin. They have the Miami Hurricanes in Blacksburg this weekend. An exciting matchup, a chance to upset Mario Cristobal and company. James Franklin's going to be there. The energy that's going to be in the stadium. This is a new chapter for Virginia Tech, and they are ready to return to the status that they had under Frank Beamer and company as conference contenders. And if you're competing for ACC titles, you have a chance to make the college football playoff year in and year out. And James Franklin is a coach that had Penn State in the top 12 of the college football playoff standings 7 of the last 9 years. And if you didn't forget, they were in the Final Four at Penn State last year in the college football playoff. So these recruits are excited about the future of Virginia Tech football because of James' history's track record of winning. 4-star quarterback Troy Hune, he was committed to Penn State. He's taking an official visit this weekend. Already says that the Hokies are his leader. Now, Stanford offered during the season. Minnesota's kicking the tires. But James Franklin's the coach he believes in, that believes in him. And I think that's going to be a tough bond for anybody to beat. So definitely like where Virginia Tech stands for the talented passer from the Golden State. Rivals 300 tight end, the number one recruit in Minnesota, Pierce Peterson. He's also committed to Penn State right now, but he loves Coach Franklin, his history, particularly with tight ends. So he's going to get to Blacksburg and check that out this weekend. 4-star offensive lineman Thomas Wilder is expected. He's a former Virginia Tech commit that's picked up some Maryland buzz, but it would not be surprising to see his recruitment come full circle now with Coach Franklin creating some buzz around Virginia Tech. 4-star offensive tackle Marlon Bright committed to Penn State. Phil Trotwine's kind of the key. If Penn State can hang on to offensive line coach Phil Trotwine, which who knows who their next coach is going to be, and then who his O-line guy is going to be, this very talented Penn State O-line class could really unravel, and Virginia Tech could be right there for Marlon Bright. Same thing for Roseby Lubinis, who's going to visit this weekend per Adam Gorney. I moved my prediction to Virginia Tech for the Penn State commit. He at one point was committed to Syracuse. Matt Sig, 4-star safety, committed to Penn State. He's going to be at Virginia Tech this weekend as well, Josh. He's fresh off a early week official visit to Notre Dame. He's been seeing a lot of Notre Dame. Attended Notre Dame's win over Navy, saw Notre Dame win on the road at Pitt for his official visit to Pitt, and then saw Notre Dame again early this week. So the Irish certainly trending up for the Penn State commit. But he loves James Franklin. He's excited to get to Virginia Tech. Got that quickly scheduled. Indiana's in play. West Virginia, to name a couple others. Former Wisconsin offensive line commit, who's an in-state recruit now for Virginia Tech. Midlothian Benedictine High. Maddox Cochran, he's an offensive line recruit. He's excited to be at Virginia Tech this weekend. So there's a lot of 2026 recruits already expected. Don't be surprised if the list grows by Saturday. And Franklin's not even coaching in the game, man. He's just going to be able to spend all this time recruiting this weekend. You're going to see him, I'm guaranteed, interviewed during the game broadcast of Virginia Tech versus Miami. Going to be a celebration of having him in town, inside Lane Stadium. So these recruits are going to feed off all this positive energy, and Virginia Tech is going to land their fair share of guys that are going to be on campus this weekend as they push towards signing day. They only have 8 commits right now. I wouldn't be surprised if that list doubles in the next 2 weeks.
All right. It sounds exciting. But how does this work in reality? Like, James Franklin isn't coaching this weekend. So what's his role, like, during the weekend?
Well, the corner office is his. Now, has he taken it over or there's no doubt who the head football coach of Virginia Tech is, and the compass
But like, is he going to be sitting with the recruits during the game? Is he going to be on the sidelines? Is he going to be in a suite? I don't know how this is going to work out. Sounds fun, though.
Well, I would imagine he's going to spend a lot of time with the recruits. Again, certainly I expect to see him on air, right? Certainly on the sideline, rubbing elbows and kissing babies. But this is a recruiting weekend for Coach Franklin and the Hokies, and he is coming into Blacksburg energized to quickly turn this program around and compete at the level that he's used to competing at. Penn State was in the right discussions, winning potential conference champions, college football playoff. That's the expectations he has at Virginia Tech right away. The ACC is a conference that you can come in and quickly compete in. Other programs have shown that. So James Franklin's expectations are get a roster in place where we can compete as fast as possible at Virginia Tech. So in my opinion, his number one priority this weekend, above all, is recruiting and talent acquisition. Getting his staff in place so they can attack the transfer portal properly in early January. He's already made some off-field hires in that regard. And so recruiting this weekend for James Franklin before we eventually start hearing him say 1-0, 1-0, 1-0.